Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're back to visit me here at Mary's little house by way of YouTube. Peanut's already curled up on my lap here. Uh, Mary goes all curled up in her cardboard box. She's found a cardboard box, and she just loves it. Uh, and Skittles out there. She just finished a big dinner, Sunday dinner. And I think he's out in the garage. He's growing really big. It's the black and white, pretty wild stray cat that's sort of made a home here. We think it's the same one that we picked up 3 years ago on Grand Avenue in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm so grateful to you. I'm so grateful to be with you. So grateful to share this Advent together. Yesterday, and Angel, excuse me, Angel is sort of moaning in there. He's in his on his pillows by my bed there. I hope he can get some rest. He's been walking around, bumping into the furniture and things. It's a very hard and difficult stage of his life. Hard for me too, his master. I'm so grateful to be with you. What I want to do today is take an example of a slice of my life. Waiting for the train. That's the name of the our Advent Together number 6. Waiting for the train. I got the occasion to wait with the guests that was stayed up in the Shrines Motel, but spent a lot of time down here at Mary's little house, and I got to take this person back and wait with her in the train station because she needed assistance with her luggage to aboard the train. Anyway, we were standing in line there, and I thought. I was so desperate because when I have a downtime, I tend to want to pray, tend to want to go in a corner and just pray. But here I was standing in line. It's a big long hall waiting for the call to proceed down to the tracks, to the train tracks. But it was quite a while. We had quite a wait before boarding. And I saw that I was right there. There was no escape. There was no going into a corner and praying. That's what I do when I have downtime. Well, how do I fill in this time? Hello, Jim. I had people right in front of me. First of all, the person I was accompanying. Then I had behind me was a wonderful grandmother who was sitting by us in the waiting room, and I could tell she was listening to us. And when I make a joke, clowning around, I noticed that she smiled too, and noticed other people too. So I felt like I had this is a show on the road here, on the railroad. Anyway, but she followed us into the line that was waiting to be boarded for on the train. So she was behind me, us there. Then before me was a Middle Eastern family. She had asked the mother and 3 children, beautiful children, Middle East. They spoke English, but they spoke Arabic too, and they were just beautiful children. I got to josh with them too, One was 9 years old, one was 10, and one was 4 or 5. One was 5. I figured out 2 of them, 2 out of 3, pretty good, how old they were. Anyway, they let me visit with them too. Anyway, then before them was a black family, 3 generations. The middle one was taking care of his little son, I guess. It was a little tiny guy, cutest little booger. It was a lovely little boy. And his father and his grandfather, the 3 generations. And then in front of that, they're the first in line, was a Hispanic family. Grandma, to the littlest baby who was running all around, running through past the security places and everything, just pretty, and to the chagrin and the horror of the older people. But the younger kids chased him down and brought him back to where he should have been, waiting behind the where we're cordoned off to wait for the boarding. Anyway, so waiting for the train and waiting for our Lord to come again, the second coming. What are we going to do? We're waiting. When we have downtime, when we're looking for God, what are we going to do? Well, I was trying to figure that out. Well, what I did was I didn't go any place. I didn't excuse myself. I stayed right there standing. I mean, there was no chairs. We left the waiting room where the chairs were. And I just, what happened? I prayed to God. I says, what am I supposed to be doing here? I felt like it was an empty spot to be filled here, an empty space of my time. Well, I realized they got in my face. All these families are right here. I'm close to them. I mean, physically, are close to. They didn't know me, but by the time we boarded the train, they sure did. I got to be with them. First of all, I would be a clown for them. My point is, what I'm trying to make is, these waiting for God, waiting for the train. God gave me the occasion to love these people. Well, how am I going to love them? By listening to them, by answering their questions, because of the lady from the Middle East, she was making sure this is the right train. Does this go to the city? And I had to assure that she was correct. She was in the right line. But being of service, and one of the things of service for me is was boring standing there, was being a clown. Well, first of all, I got my pen out and something in my hand, and I was taking orders like we just did at the restaurant. What would you like to drink? And of course, my dear, like a daughter to me. She's almost 60 years old, but she just threw up her hands. How crazy I am. But the lady behind me, the grandmother, who looked like Liza Minnelli, but she was a grandma. She said, "I'll have a hot toddy." She went right along with my big joking around, and it's a hot toddy. That's a good medicinal thing, and she said, "Yes, I do need it." She had sinus, and she was visiting her grandchildren. She shared her life, her visit with her grandchildren, and this terrible, terrible pain, the sinus and everything, and how the medication took so long to get it well. So that was that. The other thing is, then in front of me was this family from the Middle East, and we joshed with them. And then I was watching. I didn't get a lot of contact with the black family, the 3 generations, father, son, grandfather, son, grandson. But I watched them and their interaction. How beautiful people are. How they love their babies and their little ones. How they respect their elders. This man was right in between the son, just loving his grandfather, who was, very good. I'm sure fatigued standing there. There's no place to sit, and watching this little active toddler of a son, of the grandson. They're just so beautiful. I was thinking of that, beholding God's creation, God's love shown in these people. First of all, their physical beauty, their moral beauty. They're so good. When I see love, I was almost to tears watching these families interact. The Hispanic family, they were all over the place, and and the black family and the Middle Eastern family, many different cultures, and how they related. There was a common denominator, and I think the lady behind me, she looked very Italian, like Liza Minnelli. She was from American, of course, but Italian American she looked, and she had that bounciness and she inclusiveness. I mean, she was with us in the waiting room without any words spoken. I could tell she was listening to us and listening to all my shenanigans and jokes, because she was laughing and smiling, and I sort of winked at her, acknowledging that that's nice that she's doing that. But anyway, my point is, first of all, to behold God's beauty in these people, in these cultures, in the family relationships that I see so beautifully carried out there. It is just so beautiful to behold. And then so part of our waiting for God, for Jesus' second coming, is to really appreciate God's love and God's beauty as reflected in people, in their goodness, in their love for each other, in their beauty, the children and the mothers and the fathers. They're just all beautiful, different shapes and sizes. It's just beautiful. So that's why we're waiting for Jesus, to not miss the beauty, to stand back, because I got to do that a little bit, to shut my mouth and just listen and behold. And I just was enthralled by all that I was seeing in the Hispanic family, the black family, the Middle Eastern family, the Italian American mother who's got that joy of life, or that liveliness, that expression they're very expressive, and right in there chucking. But my point is, what are we doing when we're waiting for God? Beholding His goodness, beholding the beauty in others. What are we doing when we're waiting for God? Responding to that beauty and appreciating and celebrating it. And what are we doing waiting for God? Loving them, even if it's putting on a clown act, like I was doing in the waiting room and then later in the line. That's what we're to do. We're not, and I wasn't with God's grace, because I would have been bored and said, "Oh God, this is awful. There's nothing to talk about. What to do?" I would have fallen back on myself if I let myself go, but I didn't. I was trying to make people happy and celebrating the kids. I said, "Oh, you're a big 10-year-old, and you're a big 9-year-old, just celebrating their goodness and beauty around us, listening to about the problem with your nose and all that." Listening to this wonderful lady share this right out of the blue, and commiserating with her and celebrating that she's feeling better now. So an interaction, not to waste any time waiting not on ourselves. Because I had a great joy then. From boredom, I hardly ever get bored, and I don't know how people can get bored. I just don't know. But from self-absorption to reaching out, to celebrating God's love around us in the moment. And that's what we're supposed to be doing, waiting for Jesus to come again. God bless you.